Hello everyone, I welcome you to this class. This class is about dynamics of circular motion. So we will discuss the various circular motions which happen and various various terms of the physics work there in order to uh, keep the motion of the object over a circular path. So in this topic of circular motion, we will discuss about centripetal force which happen to come into action only whenever the object follows a circular path. And then we will talk about the role of friction and banking of the road whenever an object or a vehicle takes the turn on a road. So let us take them one by one. The very first thing we will discuss, it is about centripetal force, right, which is the case in case of circular motion. So what centripetal force is? So it is a force that comes into play. So here is, it is a force that comes into play, means that exists only when an object have motion over a circular path. So whenever, as just you can see in this diagram, whenever an object have the circular motion over a path, circular path, this force comes into action. Okay, so where this force is directed? This force acts on the object, and this force, it is always directed to the center of the circular path. That is, the force is always directed radially, okay, not outward but inward. So this is inward. So this force is always directed radially inward. So you can see this diagram, this object at position A, it finds this force which is towards the center. So this is the direction of the centripetal force, and if this force has not acted upon, the object would have moved along this direction, along the tangent to this circular path, along this direction. Now because the object is finding the force acting on it towards the center, so thus therefore it's just change its course of the path towards the center. So whenever it reaches the position B, it again finds the force which is directed towards the center, again centripetal force, due to which it again changes its path. Otherwise it would have moved along this path and reached about this position B dash, right? But because it finds the force at every point of this circular path, which is the centripetal force, and is directed towards the center. Centripetal means seeking the center. So therefore this force keeps the object move at a certain distance from the we can say center. So this force which act on the object, and this comes into action only when objects have the circular motion, and it is always directed towards the center of the circular path, means radially inward. So this is about what centripetal force is and in what way it acts. Okay, but if this is the force, then it would have come to the center along the radius under the action of this centripetal force. But this is not happening when the object is having a circular motion, right? This is because it is balanced by an equal amount of force in outward direction. So this equal amount of force, which is equal to the centripetal force, it acts on the object at every point, right, in addition to the centripetal force, at every point of its circular path. So this force which acts on the object at every point of the circular path, it is directed outward. So the direction of this force is, it is outward, and in magnitude it is equal to the centripetal force, and this force is called as the centrifugal force. Centripetal force towards the center, centrifugal force away from the center, radially outward. So this means at every point of the circular motion, an object always find two forces which are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. One force which is directed towards the center, radially inward, it is the centripetal force, and other force opposite to that means radially outward away from the center. This is called as centrifugal force. So, that is why this object, whenever it moves over a circular path, it does not come towards the center or move away from the center. It remains at a fixed distance over the circular path. This fixed distance is nothing but the radius of this circular path. So, this is the reason for the particle to remain in a circular path around a fixed point. Okay. So, under the combined effect of these two forces, the centripetal force and the centrifugal force, right, the object keep moving around the center in the circular path at a fixed distance from the center. This is what just we have got from the discussion of centripetal force and centrifugal force. And here we already have discussed in our last class the centripetal acceleration. It is given by acceleration is equal to omega square upon, it is v square upon r, where v is nothing but the linear velocity of the object and r is the radius, right. So, acceleration, which is the centripetal acceleration, this acceleration is directed towards the center. It is also called as the radial acceleration. Here we are knowing it with the name centripetal acceleration. So, there must be no difference. So, centripetal acceleration, it is given by a is equal to v square upon r. So, this acceleration, it is directed due to the, this acceleration is due to the centripetal force. So, therefore, the direction of acceleration will be along the direction of the force. So, therefore, it is also directed towards the center radially inward. If this is the acceleration caused by the centripetal force, then we can write the centripetal force as F is equal to m into a. Here m is nothing but mass of the object having the circular motion. So, from here we understand that this force, which is given by m into a, this is equal to m. We are substituting the value of a from here and we get the force, means centripetal force, to be m v square upon r. So, this is the centripetal force, very important term to know whenever you discuss about the circular motions. So, these are the few things about centripetal force, that what is a centripetal force, and also what is the direction of the centripetal force and what formula it holds. Okay. Now, we can think about a lot of examples where circular motion takes place and the centripetal force plays the role in order to keep the object on a circular path. So, I am taking few of them. Let us take a stone which is tied with a string. Suppose that a stone is tied with a string circulating about the center. Just you can just have this diagram. In this diagram, a child is tying a stone or a ball with a string and trying to rotate it, circulate it, right. Here the centripetal force keeps the ball circulating over one fixed circular path about the center from where the string is tied up. So, that means this centripetal force, which comes into action as soon as the ball starts or object starts to have a circular motion, it is directed towards the center. And in this case, where this centripetal force comes? This comes due to the tension in the string. So, the tension caused in the string, this tension force, it gives or contributes towards the centripetal force. So, this is where the centripetal force comes from in this particular example. Another example we can take is that the earth, which is revolving around the sun under the gravitational effect, or we can say gravitational force. Here the centripetal force comes from the gravitational force of attraction between the earth and the sun. You can just have this or this diagram. Here it is the earth, here it is the satellite. We have taken another examples. Here it is the satellite earth. So, therefore, the satellite keeps revolving around the earth in a fixed orbit, or we can say circular path, due to which this satellite remains over this circular path. So, that means this satellite is bound by two forces, one radially outward, one radially inward. The radially inward force, it is called as the centripetal force, and this force is due to the gravitational force between satellite and the earth, and so is the case with the earth and the sun, as in this case of example. Another example we can think about where the centripetal force plays important role is the revolving electron, an electron which revolve around the nucleus inside an atom. So, here the electron also feels the centripetal force, and this centripetal force comes from the electrostatic force of attraction between positively charged nucleus and the electron which is negatively charged. So, this force of attraction, this is the electrostatic force of attraction between electron and the nucleus, positively charged nucleus, which keeps them bound, right. So, this centripetal force in this situation or example come from the electrostatic force between the nucleus and the electron. Similar examples we can think of the satellite motion, or we can say the motion of moon around the earth, just as we have seen here. So, we are having the circular motion of the moon around the earth, due to which a centripetal force comes into action. This centripetal force in this example comes from the gravitational force. So, means the gravitational force contribute towards the creating a centripetal force. Okay. So, we can also put this centripetal force into this form, as we have already discussed. Force which is mv square upon r. If we substitute the value of v, in case of circular motion, v is related to angular velocity omega with a formula of v is equal to omega r. So, we substituting the value of v is equal to omega into r, we get this expression m r omega square. Omega here it is nothing but the angular velocity or angular frequency. The value of this omega angular velocity, it is given to be 2 pi upon capital T. Here capital T in the expression of omega, it is nothing but the time period of revolution of this one object around the center. So, this is about few examples of the centripetal force. Okay. Now, we can take our discussion to the practical situations, but before that let us have a look at the centrifugal force. So, centrifugal force, as we have discussed, it is a force that tends to move rotating or circulating object away, because it is directed away. So, therefore, it try to make the object move away from the axis of rotation, or we can say from the center of the circular path. So, centrifugal force, it is equal in magnitude. This has to be equal if the object follows a circular path, because object follows a circular path only when it remains at a fixed distance from the axis of rotation, or we can say center of the circular path. This is possible whenever the force is acting on this object towards the center or away from the center are at fixed, or we can say are of equal magnitude, but directed opposite to each other. So, we can see that the centrifugal force in magnitude, it is also equal to mv square upon r, means centripetal force. Okay. Now, we can take some examples from our daily life where the centripetal force plays very important role. So, just as we can take the example of a car or a vehicle which is taking a turn on the road. So, the very first thing, first case we will take is we are taking a level road, a horizontal road, right. So, a level road is one which is not tilted anyway, right, it is leveled. So, what is the value of centripetal force and what maximum velocity the car can, or we can say vehicle can have in order to take the turn safely over a level road, this we can discuss here. Okay. So, when this is the diagram, you can have it. So, this is the road, right. This is the point where car is taking the turn on a level road. So, on the turn, there is this imaginary center of this circular road, means circular turn about which the car is moving, right. So, this is the center. So, we can take this turn on the road, it is having radius r. So, therefore, this car will be under the effect of different forces. These we have discussed here. The very first force acting on the car, it is weight. So, weight of the car, it always act vertically downward direction as shown in this sub diagram. So, m is the mass of the car plus of course passengers, and the total weight of the car including the passenger, it is acting vertically downward direction, and it is given by m into g, where g, small g, it is nothing but the acceleration due to gravity. And because this car exerts this much amount of force on the road, so therefore, the road also exerts an equal amount of the force on the car in opposite direction, which is called as the normal reaction. So whenever the car is taking the turn, the second force, it is the normal reaction which is directed in upward direction. The third force which is acting on this car, it is the force of friction between the tires of the car and the road, which is directed radially inward. Of course, because whenever car takes a turn, it feels an outward force which is balanced by this centripetal force, or we can say frictional force. The frictional force always act towards the center of the turn. Whenever car take a turn, it will feel a force in outward direction due to inertia of the direction. So due to that, the car would have moved out of the road in radially outward direction, but due to this friction force, the car keeps moving on the level road over the circular turn on the road of the road. So this frictional force, it always act towards the center of this turn on the road. So this is the force of friction, how it acts here over the car whenever car take a turn on the level road. So these are the three forces under the effect of which this car is moving. Because car is not having any motion in vertically upward or vertically downward direction, means in vertical direction there is no motion of the car. So that it means that this normal reaction, it is equal to m into g, as we have written here, because there is no motion of the car along the vertical. So therefore the normal reaction, that means the two forces acting on the car in opposite direction are equal in magnitude. So for the car to take the turn on the circular path, or we can say circular turn on the level road, it is required that some centripetal force must act towards the center, which keeps the car bound to the circular path, or we can say circular road. Okay. So where this centripetal force comes? This centripetal force comes from the frictional force between the tires and the level road. The force between the tires and the level road, it is always directed inward of the circular track. So this frictional force gives rise to, or this is the cause of the centripetal force here. So we can see here the centripetal force, it is given by the centripetal force, it is given by the force of friction. Actually the force of friction, how we write the expression for the force of friction, it is given by F is equal to mu times R. As we have discussed, mu is nothing but the coefficient of friction, right? This is the coefficient of friction. So this frictional force, total frictional force, it is given by the coefficient of friction mu multiplied by the normal reaction, which you can write it where with R, which is equal to actually m into g, the weight of the car, right? So the value of this mu means the coefficient of friction. This depends upon the pair of surfaces which are involved in the friction. So here it is the coefficient of friction for the tire, which is made of rubber, with the road. So higher the value of mu, higher is the value of will be the frictional force. So therefore car now can take a safe turn if this centripetal force directed towards the center, it is equal to the frictional force. It is given by the frictional force. So we can write the expression for the centripetal. We already know that the centripetal force takes the formula mv square upon r, and the force of friction, it should be equal to mu times mg. So this is the formula we get from here. So from here m cancels out on both sides, and we get the value of v, the velocity of the car, equal to be mu g r under the root. So this is the formula for the velocity of the car, which a car, or we can say a vehicle, should have in order to take a safe turn on a level road. This is the maximum velocity. So maximum velocity which car should have, it depends upon the coefficient of friction between the tire and the road, the value of acceleration due to gravity, however it is something which is constant, and the r. R is the radius of this circular track. So lesser the value of r, right, less the velocity of the car should be. The car should take that turn for which the radius r is less with a smaller speed, because the turn will be even narrower. So this is the formula for the velocity for the car or any vehicle to take a safe turn on the level road. So this is the first example where this the circular role of circular motion and the centripetal force plays important role here. Okay. If the speed of the car exceeds this value, if the speed of the car is slightly more than its maximum value, the force of friction will not be able to provide the necessary centripetal force, and hence the car may skid off the road, right. So, car has to keep this velocity as the maximum velocity if the car wants to or tends to have a turn on a level road safely. We can take a simple numerical just like this in order to understand the concept of this centripetal force on the road. The question is, a car is moving with a speed of 72 km/h on a flat road. Flat road means a level road. A car has to take a turn of radius. The car has to take a turn of radius 10 meter. So, the radius of the turn is 10 meter. Can car negotiate the curve with this speed? The car is moving with this speed. So, the question is, can car take that turn safely with this much of speed? The value of mu is given to be, means coefficient of friction, it is given to be 0.3. So, we already know that on the level road the car should have the maximum velocity which is given by root of mu g r. So, we can substitute the value of mu which is 0.3, g the acceleration due to gravity 9.8, and r which is given to be 10. So, the velocity of the car, which should be the maximum velocity of the car, it is given by 5.4 meter per second. So, this is the maximum speed which car should have. So, this is 72 km/h. So, we can convert this into the same meter per second and then we can compare. So, the speed of the car, it is 72 km/h. In meter per second, it is given to be 5 by 18 times of 72, which is 20 meter per second. So, that means this is a more speed than what car should have, right. So, the car is traveling with a speed much more than the maximum speed car should have to take the turn of radius 10 meter on the level road. So, that means this 5.4 meter per second, this is the maximum speed, or this is also called as the critical speed of the vehicle, or we can say car, to take a turn. Because the car, it is moving at a higher speed, so therefore, the car will not be able to negotiate the turn, means car not be able to take a turn, but it will just skid off the road. Okay. So, let us move to the next case, the banking of the road. On the road, you may have come across the situation where the road from outside, it is tilted in inward, especially in hilly areas where the there is a turn on the road. So, on the road, whenever there is a turn, especially in hilly areas, the outward surface, it is raised slightly by some angle, or we can say outward surface, or we can say outward edge of the road is tilted slightly upward. So, this is the diagram which clearly explains the situation. So, tilting of the circular road inward, this is called as the banking of road. So, what is the need for the banking of the road? So, whenever the force of friction between the tires and the roads, it is not sufficient to negotiate the car over a road to take a turn. So, that means the force of friction which is contributing towards the centripetal force, it is not sufficient to provide the to keep the car on the level road, we can say car on the road. So, to overcome this problem of insufficient friction, the road is banked. So, banked means the road is tilted, right. So, how it is tilted? The outer edge of the road, it is raised a little above the inner edge, right. So, we keep the inner edge as it is, but we raise the outer edge slightly by some angle. This angle, it is called as the banking angle, right. This angle, it is called as the banking angle. So, now in this particular case, the car can safely take the turn on the road with a more easy way, or we can say more safely, because of the less friction. The case of less friction comes whenever it rains or snows. So, in that case, the force of friction get reduced. So, if the road is slightly tilted, it becomes easy for the vehicle to take the safe turn on the road. Now, we can discuss the case, very same case of the banked road, as we have discussed just a level road, right. So whenever a car wants to have a turn on a banked road, so what different terms plays role here, and what maximum velocity the car should have, right? So here is the situation. Let us try to understand the diagram first. It is the road, right? There will be some we can say radius of this circular track, which we can take as small r, right? So the car is moving on this level road. So this is the position of the road now. It is not leveled, but it is tilted, or we can say banked by some angle theta. This is the banking angle. Now the car weight of the car is under the action of different kind of forces, so which are summed up here. So one force it is the weight of the car, and other force is due to this weight of the car. Here we are taking the first case. Whenever the friction, we are trying to understand the role of this banking only. We are not considering the frictional force in the first case, right? So this is the weight of the car acting vertically downward direction, and this is the normal reaction. It will be acting this way, because the normal reaction, which it will be always be normal to the surface. Road will exert the force perpendicular to itself on the car. So this will be along this direction. So this is the angle theta. This is also the angle theta. So this angle, and the angle made by the normal reaction with the vertical, this will always be equal to this banking angle. If this is 0, this angle will also be 0. That means the normal reaction which will always act in vertically upward direction. Now this normal reaction, it can be resolved into two components. The components of the normal reaction, one component it is acting in vertically upward direction. So this component in vertically upward direction, this will be r cos theta, because this is the component with which this normal reaction it is making an angle theta. So this angle theta. So therefore this is the r cos theta component, and other component it will be along the horizontal and inward the circular road. So it will be r sin theta, right? Now this component r sin, because car it is not having any motion in vertical, so that means this component of the normal reaction it is balanced by the weight. So there will be no motion along the vertical, and due to this tilting of the road, or we can say banking of the road, this component of the normal reaction, or we can say force, plays the role towards the centripetal force. Means by tilting, this much force comes into action, right? So this centripetal force, it is nothing but the this force acting towards the center due to the normal reaction of the car. This contributes towards the centripetal force. So therefore we can write that r sin theta, it is equal to mv square upon r. Any force which is acting towards the center of the circular path, it adds towards the centripetal force. Here in this example, in this discussion, we are taking the case of only the banking of the road. So that is why we have not included the force of friction into discussion, right? So first we want to understand what role the banking of the road will play here. So we see that the banking of the road by angle theta, it gives this much amount of force towards the center, which is the adding towards the centripetal force. So therefore r sin theta, which is acting towards the center, it is equal to centripetal force mv square upon r, and from here we also write this r cos theta, it is equal to weight mg of the car, which are balanced because there is no motion of the car along the vertical. So that means r cos theta is also equal to m into g. Now we can divide these two equations. R cancels out here, and it becomes sin theta upon cos theta, which is tan theta. And from here, whenever we divide this, we get the velocity from here. We get the velocity of the car to be root of r g into tan theta. So this is the velocity which a car can have, right, whenever a road is banked. So due to banking of the road, the car can have the velocity which is given by this formula. Now we can apply all cases which are possible here. One case is that this banking of the road will cause a force r sin theta towards the center, and another case is of the force of friction. Okay, here the friction also adds towards the centripetal force of the car. So this is the diagram we can take. So this is the road which is banked at an angle theta, which is called as banking angle. The car on this tilted road or banked road, it takes the turn. It is under the effect of various forces, of course, which we have already discussed in our last article. We are considering the case of a car taking a turn on a banked road by considering the role of friction also. So, first case is normal reaction. Normal reaction, it is acting along this direction perpendicular to the surface. Of course, it is not shown perpendicular, but it is always perpendicular to the surface. Here the angle made by this normal reaction with vertical, it is theta, which is equal to banking angle. So, this component is n cos theta, or we can say r cos theta, and this component it is called as n sin theta, or we can say r sin theta. Similarly, the friction force, it always act along the surface. It always act along the surface. So, it will be along this direction. So, this force of friction will also be resolved into two components, one along this direction or horizontal and one along the vertical direction, vertically downward direction. So, this component, if this is angle theta, this angle will also be theta. This situation arises due to the banking of the road. So, this angle will be also be equal to theta by the geometry. So, this component, it is called as the horizontal component. It becomes f cos theta. The component with which this resultant force, or we can say friction, makes an angle, it is the f cos theta, and other one which is the vertical, it is the f sin theta. Now, we can take the same discussion to this situation, right. Now, this car is under the effect of various forces. One force is the weight of the car, which act vertically downward direction. Second force is the normal reaction of the road on the car, which is perpendicular to the car or perpendicular to the surface of the road. And the third force here is the force of friction between the tires and the road. Now, this normal reaction as well as the force of friction are resolved into different components. So, the component of the normal reaction are written here. R cos theta, it acts vertically upward direction, which balances the weight of the car, and r sin theta, it acts inward, right, to the center of the turn. And similarly, the components of the frictional force, they are f cos theta towards the center. This component, it is directly towards the center of the circular road, and f sin theta, it is in vertically downward direction as shown here. Now, we can apply the same case because car is not having any motion along the vertical. So, that means whatever the upward force, it is balanced by the downward force. So, what is the net downward force? It is the weight mg plus f sin theta. So, this is the total downward force. It is equal to total upward force, which is n cos theta, or we can say r cos theta. So, means along the vertical, this is the situation. Net upward force r cos theta, this is equal to net downward force, which is f sin theta plus mg, right. Okay. So, from here we are writing the value of mg. We can write the value of mg here, which is equal to f sin theta goes to the other side and gets subtracted. So, it becomes r cos theta minus f sin theta, some mathematics, right. And other situation is that the net force, centripetal force, it is given by now two kinds of forces. The normal component of the normal reaction r sin theta, here I am writing it n sin theta, you can write it to be r sin theta, and other component of the centripetal force, it is coming from the force of friction, which is f cos theta. So, that is that means r sin theta and f cos theta together contributes towards the total centripetal force mv square upon r. So, therefore, we are writing this equation, right. Now, we can divide these two equations. And what we get, mv square upon r, we are keeping this on the left side and other things on the right side. Let me just write it here. So, this is how centripetal force comes. Now, it becomes easy to understand. So, we are dividing this equation with this one. So, we write the formula to be just like dividing equation number 2 by 1, we get this. We just slightly simplify it. Here m just cancels out. So, it becomes v square upon rg, and here we divide numerator and denominator with r cos theta In the numerator we divide by r cos theta, and in the denominator we also divide it by the r cos theta. So here it becomes tan theta plus f upon r, and in the denominator it becomes 1 because it is divided by r cos theta minus f upon r tan theta. Now this f upon r, it is nothing but the coefficient of friction, mu. So we are writing f upon mu in place of f upon r here and here. So tan theta plus mu and 1 minus mu tan theta, and we are interested in calculating the velocity. So therefore velocity comes, rg goes to the other side and square also goes to the other side. So we get the formula for the velocity of the car on a banked road to be equal to this one. So this is the overall formula in case of a banked road. In this formula we have included every factor: the centripetal force due to the banking of the road and centripetal force due to the frictional force. So what should be the optimum speed to negotiate a curve? The optimum speed means the speed for which the wear and tear of the tires is minimum, right? So damage caused to the tires is, or we can say wear and tear of the tire is minimum. So that velocity, so of course this speed is different from this one, will be even slighter. This is just the maximum velocity which car can have, but optimum speed it is slightly even less, so as to reduce the wear and tear of the tire of the car. So it is given by whenever mu is 0. Whenever there is no friction, we have to reduce velocity even further. The tires of the car will not have any wear and tear only whenever the force of friction is minimum. Here we are taking that this coefficient of friction between the tire and the road, it is 0. So therefore the velocity in that case, it is given by rg tan theta under root. So which is the same formula as we have discussed. So this is the case of the car taking a turn on a banked road. Earlier we have discussed the car taking a turn on a level road, and this was the case of the car taking a turn on the banked road, where we have considered all the cases. Okay. Now we can take the final case of the circular motion, where the centripetal force also plays the role. It is the case of cyclist. Cyclist or a motorcyclist, whenever he or she takes a turn on a road, the cyclist or motorcyclist just lean slightly inward, right? So in that case, the various forces which act on the cyclist and the cycle is as a one system. Cycle and cyclist are the one system here. The weight mg, which is acting vertically downward direction, this weight is the weight of the cycle plus the cyclist itself. We can call it to be one system, right? So if this is the road over which this cyclist is taking the turn, one force it is acting, the weight of the car in vertically downward direction, right? The normal reaction will be along this direction. This will be the direction of the normal reaction. If the cyclist it is bending, or we can say leaning slightly, so the angle, otherwise cyclist would have moved straight along the vertical. So the cyclist would have 0 angle. Now it is leaning slightly whenever the cyclist is taking the turn. So this is called as the leaning angle, right? Or we can say bending angle. The cyclist is bending. So suppose that the cyclist is bending by angle theta, making an angle theta with the vertical line. So therefore the normal reaction will be along this direction. So this is the second force which will be acting on the system of cycle and cyclist. So normal reaction of the road on the not car but system. Here system is nothing but cycle and cyclist. It is perpendicular to the system of cycle and cyclist, or we can say perpendicular to the we can say surface of the road. Okay. So the we can resolve this normal reaction into two components. One along the vertical, r cos theta, it will be acting according to this situation. This normal reaction, it is resolved into two components. R cos theta component, it will be acting vertically downward direction, and other component, if this angle is theta, this angle, the r would have made the same angle theta here, right? So r cos theta will be along this direction, and r sin theta will be along this direction towards the center. It is r sin theta, it is directed towards the center of the circular road. So which is the we can say force which is contributing towards the centripetal force here in this case. So r sin theta, it is given by mv square upon r, and r cos theta, it is balancing the weight of the system of cycle and cyclist, which is mg. And this is same because cycle and cyclist are not having any motion along the vertical. So whenever we divide these two equations, we get the same equation, v is equal to rg tan theta under root 2, where r is the radius of this circular track, or we can say turn on the road. So this is about the various cases of circular motion where the centripetal force plays a very important role. So this centripetal force comes from the different situation. It comes from the friction between tires of the vehicle and the road, and it also comes from the banking of the road as we have just discussed. So this is the angle which a cyclist should bend in this particular case if cyclist is having the velocity v and the turn it is having the radius r. So you can discuss here all the cases. So this is all about this class. Thank you.